Former White House press secretary and co-host of Outnumbered, Kayleigh McEnany, is here. So, Kayleigh, Pete Hegseth could be the next Secretary of Defense. What the heck? Can you believe it?
I mean, look, I was stunned when I saw it, but then it made all the sense in the world. You know, I was with Pete Hegseth. I was guest hosting the weekend show on October 8th, so the day after the horrific October 7th attack. We started at like 5 a.m. that day, Jesse. And there's Pete Hegseth at 4:58 a.m. at the wall with a map of the Middle East, naming every single country by heart and the interplay between the actors and how geostrategically this would work if there was a larger conflict. So this is the guy for the job. Smart, patriotic, can't say enough good things about him. It makes sense, and it also helps that the guy you're looking at is central casting, Jesse.
Yes, central casting, something Donald Trump always looks for. It's an exciting time, and not just Pete Hegseth. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are being now tapped to reform government, completely reshape it, streamline it, slash trillions of dollars from it, get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse, and do it quickly, and use AI while they're at it.
This is the single most important thing that I think the Trump administration can do. I spoke with Vivek many times about how horrific it is that you have these career civil servants that sit there and undermine every single order from President Trump. I saw it during my tenure. I used to talk to Stephen Miller about it. And just on the way out the door, Trump put in Schedule F to allow him to mass fire these civil servants. But these guys are going to be creative. I think you're going to see agencies moved across the country that are going to force people to quit. You're going to see a cleaning of house and innovation come in and government efficiency. And most importantly, a bureaucratic class that can no longer undermine the guy who got the largest popular vote count of any Republican president in raw numbers, and that would be Donald Trump.
Right. Well, I mean, after what this government did during COVID, it's definitely time for a reckoning. Tell me about the new CIA director. I know you were there when John Radcliffe was there. He's now in charge at Langley. What does that mean for our enemies? And what does that mean for us getting some answers about a lot of cover-ups over the last few decades?
Yeah, I worked with John Radcliffe. He was director of national intelligence when I was there. Smart, on his game, can stand up to our enemies. The CIA, I think, will be very good on his watch as we see that transfer from Gina Haspel to someone who I think is much more in line with the Trump agenda and John Radcliffe. But one thing that's interesting, when you add all this together, what I know about John Radcliffe, what I know about Mike Waltz, what I know about Elise Stefanik, and now Pete Hegseth, these are people who are traditional conservatives, because there's been this real competition in the movement for, where are we? Are we more populist or traditional on the world stage? These are individuals who know peace through strength, which is Donald Trump's huge vision that he implemented, no new wars on his watch. And America first is not America alone. When you add all these together, these are people who understand the importance of alliances, standing up to our enemies. And that is the Trump doctrine. That is it in a nutshell. And it tells me he's stuck with his gut, and he's chosen people that are going to manifest that agenda, John Radcliffe being a top one.
So the cabinet's almost filled up, and it's like, 6-7 days since the election really was called. What does that tell you about operationally how this is going to be different than the first Trump term?
Well, what it tells me is Trump would always say, look, I'm superstitious. I don't want to talk about cabinet appointees. But he had it in his mind all along. I think he knew he was going to win this election. He was ready to go. And these picks are so much more in line with him. These aren't, the establishment names that are related to X, Y, or Z, high-level Republican official that was pushed on him by the RNC, which is what happened out of the gate. These are people he's had long, detailed conversations with. He's sat down with. He's gotten to know over 8 years in most cases. They're ready to go. I predict you're going to see an end to the Ukraine war in short order, maybe in the first 6 months, a Saudi Arabian peace deal. You're going to have China on its heels, the economy booming. I think you're going to see a Trump agenda on steroids. We got there at the end of the first administration. I mean, just be ready, Jesse, because I think these first 100 days might be like 1,000 days in Joe Biden time.
Yeah, they voted for change, and it's coming quickly. Kayleigh McEnany, great to see you. Thank you so much. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.